Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into one super simple phrase that can make a huge difference in your English conversations. We're going to explore how to sound more polite using would like. So, picture this. You're in a cafe, you're ready to order, and then that little moment of panic hits, right? You're thinking, how do I ask for this without sounding rude or way too direct? It's a classic problem, and a lot of us have been there.
Okay, so let's break this down. On one hand, you have I want, which, can sometimes sound a little harsh, a bit demanding. But on the other hand, you have I'd like, which just instantly sounds more friendly and polite. It's a tiny little tweak, but wow, it makes a big difference.
So, what exactly is would like? Well, it's really just a polite and friendly way to talk about things we want or things we wish we could do. Honestly, you should think of it as your secret weapon for making great requests and offers in pretty much any social situation. All right, so first up, let's talk about making positive requests. This is all about how to clearly and politely say what you do want. And you know what? The structure here is super simple. It's just the subject, then would like, and then whatever you want, a noun or a verb. And I'll tell you, in real conversation, you're almost always going to hear that short form, would like, because it just sounds so much more natural. For example, let's go back to that cafe. Instead of saying, I want a coffee, you just say, I'd like a coffee, please. See? You can just hear how much softer and more polite that sounds. And this works exactly the same way when you're talking about somebody else. For instance, you could say, he'd like to rest now. It's the same polite, simple structure. No changes at all. But what if you need to say no? Being able to turn something down politely is just as important. And that's where the negative form comes into play. So for the negative, we just add not. The full version is would not like, but again, you're almost always going to hear people use the contraction wouldn't like. The structure follows that same easy pattern: subject, wouldn't like, and then a noun or a verb. Here's a perfect example for you. Maybe your friend is feeling tired. You could just explain, she wouldn't like to go out tonight. It's a really clear, but still very respectful way to say no for her. Okay, so we've covered how to make requests and how to say no. Now, how do you flip this around and ask someone else what they want? Let's check out how to form some polite questions and make some offers. To ask a question, we just switch the word order around a little bit. You start with would, then the person, then like. And for the answer, a simple yes, I would, or no, I wouldn't, is the perfect polite response. Easy peasy. This right here is probably one of the most common and useful questions in all of English. Seriously, offering someone something by asking, would you like a drink, just sounds so friendly, warm, and inviting. All right, you've seen how it all works. Now I think it's time to put your new skills to the test. What do you say? Let's do a few quick practice runs together. You ready? First one up. So, imagine you're hungry. You say, I am hungry. A sandwich. What's the missing phrase here? I'll give you a second to think about it. Yes, that's it. I'd like a sandwich. Excellent. That's a perfect, polite request for what you want. Okay, let's try the next one. Your friends are done eating. They are full. Any more food. How would you finish this sentence? Remember, this one's a negative. Exactly. They wouldn't like any more food. Perfect. You're politely explaining that they don't want anything else to eat. You're getting this. Okay, last one. Your friend is tired and she wants to leave. She is tired. To go home now. What do you think goes in the blank? You got it. She'd like to go home now. You're just expressing what she wants in a really polite way. Fantastic work. So let's just do a super quick recap. Here's your little cheat sheet. Use would like to make a polite request. Use wouldn't like to politely say no. And use would you like to make a friendly offer. That's really the whole thing right there. It's that simple. And there you have it. You've just added a really important phrase for polite English conversation to your toolkit. So my final question is for you. What would you like to practice next on your English learning journey? Keep up the amazing work, and we'll see you next time.